Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Give an affirmative reply to. Respond favorably to. I cannot accept your invitation. Be designed to hold or take. Tolerate or accommodate oneself to. I shall have to accept these unpleasant working conditions. Admit into a group or community. Accept students for graduate study. Take on as one's own the expenses or debts of another person. All accept the charges. Make use of or accept for some purpose. Receive willingly something given or offered. Please accept my present. Be sexually responsive to, used of a female domesticated mammal. The cow accepted the bull. Consider or hold as true. I cannot accept the dogma of this church. React favorably to. Consider right and proper. People did not accept atonal music at that time. Receive, a report, officially, as from a committee. Give an affirmative reply to. Respond favorably to. Permission to do something. He indicated his consent. Give an affirmative reply to. Respond favorably to. I go for this resolution. Be pertinent or relevant or applicable. The same rules go for everyone. Intend with some possibility of fulfillment. Have a fancy or particular liking or desire for. Make an attempt at achieving something. The income or profit arising from such transactions as the sale of land or other property. Be capable of holding or containing. This box won't take all the items. Remove something concrete, as by lifting, pushing, or taking off, or remove something abstract. Take the gun from your pocket. Serve oneself to, or consume regularly. I don't take sugar in my coffee. Make a film or photograph of something. Take a scene. Be designed to hold or take. This surface will not take the dye. Require, time or space. Take somebody somewhere. Can you take me to the main entrance? Have sex with. Archaic use. He had taken this woman when she was most vulnerable. Have with oneself. Have on one's person. She always takes an umbrella. Receive or obtain regularly. We take the Times every day. Admit into a group or community. Head into a specified direction. Pick out, select, or choose from a number of alternatives. Take into consideration for exemplifying purposes. Assume, as of positions or roles. Interpret something in a certain way. Convey a particular meaning or impression. How should I take this message? Lay claim to, as of an idea. Accept or undergo, often unwillingly. Make use of or accept for some purpose. Take a risk. Take something or somebody with oneself somewhere. Engage for service under a term of contract. Shall we take a guide in Rome? Be stricken by an illness, fall victim to an illness. Take on a certain form, attribute, or aspect. Take as an undesirable consequence of some event or state of affairs. Get into one's hands, take physically. Can you take this bag, please? Require is useful, just, or proper. It takes nerve to do what she did. Occupy or take on. Receive willingly something given or offered. Be a student of a certain subject. Proceed along in a vehicle. Point or cause to go, blows, weapons, or objects such as photographic equipment, towards. Ascertain or determine by measuring, computing or take a reading from a dial. Take a pulse. Be seized or affected in a specified way. Take sick. Buy, select. I'll take a pound of that sausage. Carry out. Take action. Experience or feel or submit to. Obtain by winning. Winner takes all. Take by force. Take into one's possession. I'll take 3 salmon steaks. The act of photographing a scene or part of a scene without interruption. Travel or go by means of a certain kind of transportation, or a certain route. He takes the bus to work. Tolerate or accommodate oneself to. She has learned to live with her husband's little idiosyncrasies. The act of swallowing. One swallow of the liquid was enough. Tolerate or accommodate oneself to. I swallowed the insult. Enclose or envelop completely, as if by swallowing. The huge waves swallowed the small boat and it sank shortly thereafter. Take back what one has said. He swallowed his words. Pass through the esophagus as part of eating or drinking. A small amount of liquid food. Believe or accept without questioning or challenge. Am I supposed to swallow that story? Engulf and destroy. The Nazis swallowed the Baltic countries. Keep from expressing. I swallowed my anger and kept quiet. Small long-winged songbird noted for swift graceful flight and the regularity of its migrations. Utter indistinctly. She swallowed the last words of her speech. Allow participation in or the right to be part of. Permit to exercise the rights, functions, and responsibilities of. Admit someone to the profession. Admit into a group or community. We'll have to vote on whether or not to admit a new member. Have room for. Hold without crowding. The theater admits 300 people. Afford possibility. This problem admits of no solution. Allow to enter. Grant entry to. We cannot admit non-members into our club building. Declare to be true or admit the existence or reality or truth of. He admitted his errors. Serve as a means of entrance. This ticket will admit one adult to the show. Contend against an opponent in a sport, game, or battle. Admit into a group or community. Take on a certain form, attribute, or aspect. Take on titles, offices, duties, responsibilities. Accept as a challenge. Make a pretense of. She assumed indifference, even though she was seething with anger. Put clothing on one's body. The queen assumed the stately robes. Take on as one's own the expenses or debts of another person. Seize and take control without authority and possibly with force. Take as one's right or possession. He assumed to himself the right to fill all positions in the town. Take on a certain form, attribute, or aspect. She assumed strange manners. Take on titles, offices, duties, responsibilities. When will the new president assume office? Occupy or take on. He assumes the lotus position. Take to be the case or to be true, except without verification or proof. I assume his train was late. Take up someone's soul into heaven. This is the day when Mary was assumed into heaven. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. I cannot bear his constant criticism. Have on one's person. Bear a scar. Bring forth. Take on as one's own the expenses or debts of another person. She agreed to bear the responsibility. Behave in a certain manner. Cause to be born. Have rightfully. Of rights, titles, and offices. She bears the title of Duchess. Contain or hold. Have within. Bring in. Interest-bearing accounts. Support or hold in a certain manner. Be pregnant with. She is bearing his child. An investor with a pessimistic market outlook. An investor who expects prices to fall and so sells now in order to buy later at a lower price. Have. Bear a resemblance. Massive plantigrade carnivorous or omnivorous mammals with long shaggy coats and strong claws. Move while holding up or supporting. Bear a heavy load. Take up, as of debts or payments. Free someone temporarily from his or her obligations. Take over ownership of corporations and companies. Do over. Take up and practice as one's own. Take on as one's own the expenses or debts of another person. Seize and take control without authority and possibly with force. Take as one's right or possession. Take on titles, offices, duties, responsibilities. Serve oneself to, or consume regularly. Undergo, as of injuries and illnesses. Have or possess, either in a concrete or an abstract sense. Have sex with, archaic use. Have ownership or possession of. How many cars does she have? Achieve a point or goal. Go through, mental or physical states or experiences. Have a feeling. Get something. Come into possession of. A person who possesses great material wealth. Organize or be responsible for. Have, throw, or make a party. Undergo. Have as a feature. Cause to be born. Cause to move. Cause to be in a certain position or condition. Cause to do. Cause to act in a specified manner. Receive willingly something given or offered. The only girl who would have him was the miller's daughter. Have a personal or business relationship with someone. Have a postdoc. Have left. I have 2 years left. Suffer from. Be ill with. React verbally. Show a response or a reaction to something. Respond favorably or as hoped. The cancer responded to the aggressive therapy. Show a response or a reaction to something. Act against or in opposition to. She reacts negatively to everything I say. Undergo a chemical reaction. React with another substance under certain conditions. The hydrogen and the oxygen react. Be priced at. Represent, as of a character on stage. Form or compose. These constitute my entire belonging. Be identical or equivalent to. Have life, be alive. A light, strong, brittle, gray, toxic, bivalent metallic element. Have an existence, be extant. Work in a specific place, with a specific subject, or in a specific function. Have the quality of being. Copula, used with an adjective or a predicate noun. Occupy a certain position or area, be somewhere. What is behind this behavior? Spend or use time. I may be an hour. To remain unmolested, undisturbed, or uninterrupted, used only in infinitive form. Let her be. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. A natural stream of water smaller than a river, and often a tributary of a river. Persist for a specified period of time. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. The new secretary had to endure a lot of unprofessional remarks. Continue to live and avoid dying. Undergo or be subjected to. Face and withstand with courage. Continue to exist. The legend of Elvis endures. Last and be usable. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. Dwell. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. Make more concise. Something that is compiled, as into a single book or file. A periodical that summarizes the news. Arrange and integrate in the mind. I cannot digest all this information. Become assimilated into the body. Protein digests in a few hours. Convert food into absorbable substances. I cannot digest milk products. Soften or disintegrate, as by undergoing exposure to heat or moisture. Soften or disintegrate by means of chemical action, heat, or moisture. Systematize, as by classifying and summarizing. The government digested the entire law into a code. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. A support or foundation. An interruption of normal activity. A booth where articles are displayed for sale. A platform where a brass band can play in the open air. Hold one's ground. Maintain a position. Be steadfast or upright. I am standing my ground and won't give in. A support for displaying various articles. A mental position from which things are viewed. Withstand the force of something. Stand the test of time. Put into an upright position. Can you stand the bookshelf up? Be standing. Be upright. We had to stand for the entire performance. A defensive effort. The army made a final stand at the Rhone. A growth of similar plants, usually trees, in a particular area. They cut down a stand of trees. A small table for holding articles of various kinds. A bedside stand. A stop made by a touring musical or theatrical group to give a performance. A one-night stand. Be available for stud services. Be in effect. Be or remain in force. The law stands. Be in some specified state or condition. I stand corrected. Be tall. Have a height of, copula. She stands 6 feet tall. Have or maintain a position or stand on an issue. Where do you stand on the war? Occupy a place or location, also metaphorically. We stand on common ground. Remain inactive or immobile. Standing water. The position where a thing or person stands. Tiered seats consisting of a structure, often made of wood, where people can sit to watch an event, game or parade. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. Extend out or project in space. Be highly noticeable. The region of the body of a vertebrate between the thorax and the pelvis. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. An enlarged and muscular sac-like organ of the alimentary canal, the principal organ of digestion. An appetite for food. Exercise gave him a good stomach for dinner. An inclination or liking for things involving conflict or difficulty or unpleasantness. He had no stomach for a fight. Bear to eat. He cannot stomach raw fish. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. Provide housing for. Provide. The city has to put up half the required amount. Place so as to be noticed. Mount or put up. Put up a good fight. Construct, build, or erect. Propose as a candidate for some honor. Preserve in a can or tin. Make available for sale at an auction. The dealer put up 3 of his most valuable paintings for auction. Feel physical pain. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. Undergo, as of injuries and illnesses. She suffered a fracture in the accident. Be set at a disadvantage. This author really suffers in translation. Feel pain or be in pain. Undergo or suffer. Suffer a terrible fate. Undergo or be subjected to. He suffered the penalty. Be given to. She suffers from a tendency to talk too much. Experience, emotional pain. Every time her husband gets drunk, she suffers. Feel unwell or uncomfortable. She is suffering from the hot weather. Get worse. His grades suffered. financial resources provided to make some project possible. The foundation provided support for the experiment. Argue or speak in defense of. She supported the motion to strike. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. A military operation, often involving new supplies of men and materiel, to strengthen a military force or aid in the performance of its mission. They called for artillery support. Be the physical support of, carry the weight of. He supported me with one hand while I balanced on the beam. Adopt as a belief. The financial means whereby one lives. He applied to the state for support. A musical part, vocal or instrumental, that supports or provides background for other musical parts. The act of bearing the weight of or strengthening. He leaned against the wall for support. Be a regular customer or client of. Documentary validation. The strongest support for this view is the work of Jones. Establish or strengthen as with new evidence or facts. The evidence supports the defendant. Be behind. Approve of. Support with evidence or authority or make more certain or confirm. Give moral or psychological support, aid, or courage to. She supported him during the illness. Aiding the cause or policy or interests of. The president no longer has the support of his own party. Any device that bears the weight of another thing. There was no place to attach supports for a shelf. Play a subordinate role to another performer. Olivier supported Gielgud beautifully in the second act. Something providing immaterial assistance to a person or cause or interest. The policy found little public support. Supporting structure that holds up or provides a foundation. The statue stood on a marble support. Support materially or financially. He does not support his natural children. The activity of providing for or maintaining by supplying with money or necessities. His support kept the family together. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. He learned to tolerate the heat. Allow the presence of or allow an activity, without opposing or prohibiting. We cannot tolerate smoking in the hospital. Have a tolerance for a poison or strong drug or pathogen or environmental condition. The patient does not tolerate the anti-inflammatory drugs we gave him. Recognize and respect rights and beliefs of others. We must tolerate the religions of others. Reach with a blow or hit in a particular spot. Come to have or undergo a change of physical features and attributes. Leave immediately. Used usually in the imperative form. Perceive by hearing. She didn't get his name when they met the first time. Undergo, as of injuries and illnesses. Make, offspring, by reproduction. Give certain properties to something. Get someone mad. Be a mystery or bewildering to. Suffer from the receipt of. Receive as a retribution or punishment. Take vengeance on or get even. We'll get them. Achieve a point or goal. Move into a desired direction of discourse. Go through mental or physical states or experiences. Get an idea. Irritate. Her childish behavior really get to me. Take the first step or steps in carrying out an action. Let's get down to work now. Succeed in catching or seizing, especially after a chase. Apprehend and reproduce accurately. Enter or assume a certain state or condition. It must be getting more serious. Attract and fix. Receive a specified treatment, abstract. Earn or achieve a base by being walked by the pitcher. Be stricken by an illness, fall victim to an illness. Cause to move. Cause to be in a certain position or condition. Come into the possession of something concrete or abstract. Cause to do. Cause to act in a specified manner. Reach a destination. Arrive by movement or progress. She didn't get to Chicago until after midnight. Go or come after and bring or take back. Grasp with the mind or develop an understanding of. Did you get it? Acquire as a result of some effort or action. You cannot get water out of a stone. A return on a shot that seemed impossible to reach and would normally have resulted in a point for the opponent. Communicate with a place or person. Establish communication with, as if by telephone. The operator couldn't get Kobe because of the earthquake. Evoke an emotional response. Brahms's Requiem gets me every time. Overcome or destroy. Purchase. What did you get at the toy store? Reach and board. Reach by calculation. What do you get when you add up these numbers? Come to have or undergo a change of physical features and attributes. Gain through experience. I acquired a strong aversion to television. Gain knowledge or skills. Children acquire language at an amazing rate. Win something through one's efforts. I acquired a passing knowledge of Chinese. Come into the possession of something concrete or abstract. They acquired a new pet. Take on a certain form, attribute, or aspect. Locate, a moving entity, by means of a tracking system such as radar. Form a critical opinion of. We shouldn't pass judgment on other people. Form a critical opinion of. How do you evaluate this grant proposal? Evaluate or estimate the nature, quality, ability, extent, or significance of. Judge tentatively or form an estimate of quantities or time. Pronounce judgment on. Form a critical opinion of. I cannot judge some works of modern art. An authority who is able to estimate worth or quality. Put on trial or hear a case and sit as the judge at the trial of. The judge tried both father and son in separate trials. A public official authorized to decide questions brought before a court of justice. Determine the result of a competition.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.